Surprise! I was going to do another Transformers Prime crack episode, but I watched Bumblebee movie yesterday and I want to do it as soon as possible or else I forget everything, and I did promise you guys I was going to review this movie, so please put down your pitchforks. So, for the much awaited point of view of this movie, it was really good. I was actually pleasantly surprised. This movie was really, really good. Of course, there's still some stuff wrong with it because, you know, no movie is perfect, but it's definitely enjoyable, and they definitely learned a lot through trial and error with the previous movies. That was very blatant. It's going to be hard to do this review without comparing this movie to the previous Transformers movies, but it's also going to be really hard to compare them because it's so different. It has a different feel, it has different humor, it has different types of human characters, it has different types of Transformers characters. It's a completely different story, but you also have to compare it because the people who watch this movie are definitely going to compare it to the previous Transformers movies. So it's important, but it's like apples and oranges, so it's going to be hard, but I'm gonna try. First, the humor on this movie is entirely different. It's very light-hearted and it's child-friendly, but it's also not childish, which I really liked. There's points in the movie where it brinks on becoming childish, which was very, very blatant to me, who can't stand those types of things, which is the reason why I can't stand the Minions at all, but that's just me. So that's kind of something that could be a point that people would not like about this movie. But there were a lot of points in this movie where the entire theater were burst out laughing, which I could not stop laughing throughout this entire movie, which was great, and it didn't spoil the action scenes at all, which I really loved. The CGI of this movie was something different. If you're the type of person that doesn't like shiny CGI, which I'm not that type of person, I don't mind it at all, sometimes I actually really like it, but if you don't like shiny CGI, you might not like the beginning of the movie. But after they go away from Cybertron, the shiny CGI goes away. It's a very slight difference between the CGI on Cybertron and on Earth, but I actually really enjoyed the difference because it really distinguished and showed the contrast between the two different planets, which I thought was actually really clever. I don't know if it was intentional, but if it was actually a really good decision. Except at the ending, there was a point where the CGI kind of faltered, like Charlie's face pretty much melted into Bumblebee's, but you know, it's a small scene. Problem is, it's such a very important scene, so it's so blatant I couldn't overlook it, but it's one scene, so it's fine.
I'm Charlie Watson. I'm 18. Today, actually. Is the Beetle for sale?
The thing about Charlie on this movie is also one thing I really enjoyed. Just like Michaela, she is a grease monkey, but the movie really explains why she is, and it's really developed throughout the movie, which I really enjoyed. Speaking of Michaela, which I really enjoyed about this movie is there's no butt shots, and there's proper action throughout the movies. It's just not just explosions. Also, something that was really important about this movie was there was a lot of nostalgia in this movie if you really enjoy the Transformers universe. The designs of the Transformers were the same ones from Transformers Prime, which I'm pretty sure 100% of my audience enjoys.
That car? He's with me.
The proper action, I should probably talk about that. The proper action, what I mean by that is they really showed the human part of the Transformers in this movie. For example, when Bumblebee was fighting the Cybertronians, there was a lot of fist fighting, which I really enjoyed. They actually fought, and they did use their cannons, of course, because they're Transformers, but it wasn't just explosions all around. There was boxing and actual fighting, but they didn't have Ironhide, so that was kind of a deal breaker for me, but you know, it's just me. It's just me.
And pray this message finds you. Our war rages on.
The voice mentioned a war. hiding from something?
Now, for the bad things about this movie. I'm not gonna spoil anything, it's okay. It's a spoiler-free review, don't worry. But the ending was very predictable. In 20 minutes you'll be able to tell what this entire movie is gonna happen, which is sort of sad. Charlie, the main character, I would call her main character, but they develop her and Bumblebee the same amount. The main human character, Charlie, she actually helped in the battle at the end. Unlike Sam, who you kept wondering how he's not dead, she really helped and it made sense. It actually made sense that how she stayed alive. She almost died a few times, like Sam, but in a logical sense, I mean. And her saving people was not exaggerated, like she was praised for everything instead of the Transformers, except there was a point where someone thanked her instead of Bumblebee, even though Bumblebee was the one who did the thing that she was being thanked for, but it's fine. It wasn't very distracting. And I said the movie was entirely different from the previous Transformers movies, but the ending, again, which seems to be all my complaints on all the movies these days, the ending was very reminiscent of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a very overused trope, and it was sad to see them going that route with this movie, but it's just one of those things. So it's fine. Again, if you don't see the previous movies, like the Ninja Turtles or the previous Transformers movies, you won't notice these things, so it's fine. There's a few other things, except for the ending, that bothered me, like the resolve of the movie, like after the ending and stuff like that, almost came out of nowhere. The stuff that was the resolve between Charlie and Bumblebee, so it didn't really feel like a resolve at all. For example, Bumblebee said something about his voice, but he lost his voice at the beginning of the movie, so he didn't really lose it for that long, so it didn't feel that important. And the villains, the Decepticons, they were very forgettable. They were great villains, they were great characters and all that, but I don't think they ever even mentioned their names. I will never remember them. Their personalities were great, they were great villains, but that's about it, which was really sad. I'm glad they didn't overuse Megatron again. Megatron was not even in this movie, but it was a little sad that the villains were so forgettable.
The only person you can show yourself around is me.
The bad things about this movie weren't really that significant, so I didn't mind them that much. There was a point where Bumblebee became a little bit childish. It made sense in the scheme of the movie, which I'm not gonna spoil again, but it got a little bit much in the end. All in all, this movie was really good. I would rate it at least an 8 out of 10. It was a really good movie compared to the others. It was really well done. They really did learn. But again, people are going to compare this movie with the previous ones, and that's going to bring the reviews down a lot. A lot of people are going to point out insignificant things because of it. So for people who have seen like the previous Transformers movies and didn't like them, or the previous Ninja Turtles movies and didn't like those, I would say it's a 7 out of 10 or maybe a 6.5, definitely. But the worst thing about this entire movie, the worst possible thing that actually made me cringe into my seat and want to die, is the fact that they played the Marvel trailer at the beginning of the movie, and I've been avoiding that thing for weeks because I didn't want to see it, because it's sad. My boy, my beautiful, beautiful boy, I didn't want to see it yet. I wasn't ready, but it was a trailer at the beginning of the movie, so I had no choice. This is becoming a thing now. Iron Man is my child, okay? This is canon, people. He's my boy. He's okay. What? I am done. That's all I wanted to say about this movie. There were probably a few other things that I noticed throughout the movie, but I pretty much forgot them because it was It was a good movie, so I was distracted most of the time. I didn't get to take a lot of notes. But right now, I'm going to binge watch the last season of Voltron and I hope it doesn't ruin my entire day. They better bring my love back to life, or else this is just gonna be sad. Remember to subscribe for more videos. I do movie reviews now and again, so if you're here for that, you can stay and subscribe. Remember to like for my love. And with that I say, zien jullie volgende keer.
You got people out there who need you. This is why you're here, Bee.